Welcome to On the Chain.
This is none other than XRP, the Standard Productions. You know him, you love him. Barum ching, what's up, XRP the artist?
Guys, what an absolute honor it must be for John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan to join XRPP, I must say. And I just popped open a fresh Michelob Ultra. I'm ready for the conversation. Gentlemen, nice to officially meet you. John, I was able to converse with John on the Spectacular Spaces. Jeremy Hogan, this is the first time that we've conversed, although I do bother him a lot in the Twitter DMs. So I apologize for that a little bit. On the last one I sent, I actually tried to hypnotize him. I don't know that it worked, but
it did work.
I asked him a couple of things, and then I turned him into a chicken. So I apologize to Vu for that.
I also gave him the keys to my Ledger Nano, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. But no harm was done. I just wanted to see if I could do it. So it's a pleasure to join you guys. And yes, I'm XRPP the artist only because of the DS private collection NFTs that are going on XRP.cafe. But you guys know me mostly as a journalist.
A journalist.
The cool thing,
a journalist.
I'm the main journalist throughout this whole expedition that we've had in the XRP and Ripple trial against the SEC. I'm pretty much the main journalist. That's me and Roz Layton, I think, are really the only ones.
Well, Rosalind Layton put out another banger today. I saw John's comment on that. Well, listen, I want to take you guys through a couple things because thank you, XRPP, for keeping us humor. And I love when you go to his bio. Come on, man, it's parody. But this one right here was a great story. This was the time where Gary Gensler got out of hand. He said, your crap, Gary Gensler. He confronts John Deaton in a bar.
This one was unfortunate. I mean, John just went in for a beer, I think, with some buddies, and Gary just happened to be there. And Gary, if there's one thing I know about Gary, he has a temper. And when he saw John and, everything that John had said about Gary on all of these Fox Business shows, he just had enough. And I'm hoping that no one got hurt, but that was
John looks like he's about to destroy him.
It's hilarious because there's no one less intimidating than Gary Gensler. That's why it's funny.
You've never seen him mad, though.
It's like Hulk, right?
If he gets on jogging shoes and ties them really tight, you're in trouble.
Look at John's face in that. He's about to destroy him. He's about to throat punch him into non-existence there. John, how did that go down? It was weird, right? Because I think
listen, there's a pro Honk Vici motion pending. I ain't saying nothing.
Lead the fifth. Okay.
For the record, John Deaton's not even laughing at this joke.
No, he's not even. You can see that. Not happy, not funny at all. But just for the record, Jeremy did smile, so I'm just saying.
I think it's hilarious.
And there was this one here. This was Gary Gensler.
This was interesting. Gary actually appeared on Celebrity Jeopardy, but he did very poorly because everything he answered a security to every single question. So it was a bit embarrassing, but I don't know. The guy must be programmed somehow.
Hey, he lost a lot of cash there, right? No, minus 40,000.
He did.
What is the security? This one here, Jay Clayton admits he's jealous of Brad Garlinghouse's beard.
This actually came out very early in the case. Actually, a day after, or it might have been the same day. My reporters are very good. They seem to cover things that other journalistic organizations just can't. But yeah, apparently, like he was just jealous of Garlinghouse's beard, which aren't we all?
Yes.
Well, I have met Brad in person. He is one of the most charming guys. He's one of the most personable guys, and he's funny in person. He's really, you don't see that comedic side of him, but I was happy to hang out with him about 15 minutes. Here, this one here, this is huge. Satan resigned from the SEC. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, and Satan was one of the good ones. He had enough. He said these guys are just too much. He couldn't handle all the corruption, the lack of morals. You can only go so far, and he had met his limit. Who can blame him?
John, no comment, John. Don't comment.
No comment, John. And this one here, this was wild. This I saw the show with Tony. It had Hester Peirce on. Hester Peirce held up a mysterious message
I didn't
during
quite
the
under,
Thinking Crypto.
I didn't quite understand it. She gave very milquetoast answers, but she kept holding up this note, and apparently it says, "Can't talk about it now. Please send help. Gary has me locked in here." I don't really understand that. I don't know what's going on, but I thought it was worth reporting on.
She had the blue dot on her hand also, by the way.
Yes.
And then we have this one here, getting ridiculous. SEC to submit amicus brief to support Ripple and the XRP.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ripple had like 100 amicus briefs in support of them, and I think the SEC saw, they're opportunists, and they just thought, well, if we're going to win this thing, we better be on the winning side. So they went ahead and submitted, which is disappointing to me, because I actually submitted from XRP, the Standard Productions, an amicus brief for the SEC. I don't know if you guys remember that. Jimmy Fallon, my good friend Jimbo, he actually reported on it. And I'm favoring the SEC, because if Ripple is successful and slaps down the SEC, and the SEC is not allowed to continue their reign of terror, I'm going to miss out on so much satire. I mean, it really is going to sink XRP, the Standard Productions.
What will you do, right?
I don't know. I really don't know what I do. And all of my reports.
There's no plan B.
There's no plan B. There's no plan B. This one here too. Congrats to the SEC Ethics Office. The Ethics Office voted the most useless office in America for the 5th straight year. Nobody.
I was very, very proud of the SEC, and I wish I could have presented the award to them. It's an honor for them to, and this is 5th year in a row. I think they're going to win 10 straight. To be honest, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know exactly what kind of trophy is given for that, but they got something. I know.
Something came out of that. Then we had this one here, which was Ripple opened a new office at the SEC headquarters. No one saw that coming.
No, this was a power move. You never can tell what Garlinghouse is going to do next. This was a power move. I think it was meant to intimidate the SEC. I don't know if it was successful, but yeah, they have an office now in the Securities and Exchange Commission headquarters.
Okay. This one here too. Gensler to hire 100,000 SEC agents in fear of falling behind the IRS.
Well, in terms of tyrannical government arms, they become competitive with each other. And of course, there was 80,000 new IRS agents. Gerber was not going to be outdone. He hired 100,000 SEC agents. A story this week, I did say they were going to be called stormtroopers. They have outfits and everything. It's very impressive, very intimidating. Gerber never to be outdone.
Very good. And then finally, we have this one here. Well, this was a weird one. The Mafia submits its first amicus brief for support of the SEC.
This was the first one, aside from the XRP, the Standard Productions amicus brief. They did get one from the Mafia. That was the first. The Mafia said if the SEC is not successful, it'll be bad for shakedowns all over America. So, yeah, this was very important for the SEC.
Right on. And then there's this one. The SEC sued the SEC for allowing Ripple to sell securities for 8 years.
Yeah, it only makes sense, because for 8 years, Ripple was allowed to sell XRP and nothing happened. So the SEC finally said, look, we've got to sue ourselves, because we really, we've screwed up here. So you got to hand it to the SEC for doing that, for recognizing that they need to sue themselves.
It does kind of make sense in a weird kind of way,
Yeah, I'm impressed. And finally, I think John Deaton himself retweeted this news back in September. The SEC has diversity requirements just like any other governmental organization. And they just found that they did not have enough people who possessed something called ethics. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but they had to hire more. So I think they ended up hiring about 50,000 people with ethics just to balance out that, that employee base. So, I'm happy. I'm so happy that I can cover this news. I don't quite know why no one else is covering it, but that's part of the reason why XRPP is here.
To know why.
And Crypto Town Crier News.
It's hard to know why. Before we bring everybody else back in here, thank you for that. And again, thank you for bringing comedy to everybody.
I gotta say, XRP, the Standard Productions, is a character, and on Twitter he is a character, but in real life he is a real person. And we met, yeah, and he's very handsome and very charming. But he is very rich. But he is just a person. I am just a person. And I am so happy, and this is, I'm dropping all of the satire. I'm so happy to be part of this community. I'm so grateful to what everyone has brought to this community. It's almost like the Avengers, and we're battling these evil forces, and we each have our own superpower. And they're different superpowers, but they are each benefiting the overall cause. I am happy in my kind of ridiculous way to provide whatever I can provide for people, to give them, let them take a breath, give them some hope, and so on. And you guys have heard it a million times, but thank you very much for everything that you guys have done. You guys have private lives, you have responsibilities, you have families, and you're contributing and helping a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have been hurt by this, including myself. And we're all coming together for a very, very good thing, a very, very good cause. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
Thank you, XRPP.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.